Hello everybody and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. We've got some really yummy summer dishes in this, some summer sides. We've got some easy comfort meals. I think if I were going to theme this whole What's for Dinner, it would be meals that are quick and easy but do not lack in flavor and are so delicious. So let's get started into this video. Well, hello all my sweet friends. We are starting this week off with a potato salad. I don't know of anything that says summer any more than potato salad as your side with anything that you're grilling out, or maybe barbecue chicken, something like that. Potato salad is just perfect. So to my potatoes, I've added diced onion, and then I'm going to put in some yummy things to make it delicious. So Duke's stone ground mustard, and some hot sauce. Now, I don't make my potato salad the same way every single time, but I do use a lot of the same ingredients, of course. But I do it just kind of however I'm feeling at the moment or what I have on hand. For the pickle portion, I'm using this chow chow. It's kind of a pickle relish type of mixture. And then this is actually some tartar sauce that I had made couple days before to go with some fish, and so that of course is just mayonnaise, more of that chow chow, some hot sauce. So I knew that would add some yummy creamy flavor in with this potato salad. So I just boil my potatoes until they're not completely soft. I don't want the potatoes to be completely mashed as I'm stirring them, but like I said, I don't do it the same way every single time with all the ingredients and whatnot. So garlic, parsley, and black pepper now going in. Gonna give that a good mix here. I love potato salad. I like it various ways. My father-in-law makes a delicious potato salad, but overall I make it pretty similar each time. I just don't follow a set recipe. Now, I may have shown this before on my channel, but comment below if you have one of these, or your mother-in-law or mom had one of these. This one came from my mother-in-law. She gave it to me years ago, and it's a pickle keeper. It's an old Tupperware, and you can put your pickles down in there and then lift it up and get your pickles out. So I like to add pickle juice to my potato salad. That's one thing I never leave out, and I also never leave out the eggs. I love boiled eggs and potato salad. So I am using my little handy dandy twist and chop. I think maybe is what it's called. This one's from Pampered Chef, but you can pretty much get them anywhere. And they are not only handy for when you're frying up ground beef or sausage, they work in a multitude of ways, and this is just one more. So I'm just chopping up my eggs here and getting these ready to go in. All right, it's ready to go in the fridge. I'm using these cute bowls. I got a 3-pack of these at Walmart a while back for like $10. They come with their own lid. They're perfect for something just like this. Now we are going to move on to the main portion of the meal. I'm starting with these sweet Italian sausages. I've already got my vegetables pre-chopped. I did earlier that day. And I am going to make us some yummy sausage, peppers, and onions. I'm kind of on a kick of that. If you've been watching the last few What's for Dinners, it seems like we have something like this about once a week because they've just been tasting really good to us, and we're just having different various ways of eating these sausages, and tonight it's with the peppers and onions. Alright, after I got my vegetables fried up and a little bit of color on my sausages, I just added in some water and a lid, and I am letting these cook so they are completely done on the inside. And oh my goodness, it's smelling so good. For a side, along with our potato salad, we're having some potato chips. And I want to point out about these Aldi chips. They literally have nothing but the potatoes and the vegetable oil and the salt. And I love that about these Aldi chips. Not a lot of extra stuff going on. And if you don't like them, they have their twice as nice guarantee. You get your money back and you get another product as well. All right, here we go. Look how good. The water's almost cooked out of these. Absolute deliciousness. The sweet Italian sausages were so good. I like a little bit of mustard on mine. James does too. We actually like these just the same. Potato salad with some pepper and potato chips. This is a summer meal that is absolutely perfect, and I could have this over and over, and I plan to all summer long. All right, here's this next night's dinner. My sweet husband often doesn't have time for breakfast in the morning, or doesn't take time for breakfast in the morning, and he was wanting bacon and eggs. And I said, absolutely, we'll have bacon and eggs for dinner. Well, I was wanting some gravy, but we are trying to limit our carbs. We're not perfect at it, but we're just kind of cutting back on our carbs. So after I fried the bacon, I decided I was going to make a little bit of gravy out of the bacon grease. Now, I don't know if you've done this before or not. You probably have, but often I do sausage gravy. Well, this time around, I had fried the bacon, left in the bacon grease, and just put my flour in just to make some gravy. We're not having biscuits, just some gravy to go along with our breakfast. So I added in, I don't know, a couple tablespoons of flour. And comment below, do you like a lighter gravy or a darker gravy? I'm not a person that has to have it one way or the other, but we do like a dark gravy. Now, oftentimes I don't make it that way because I'm just in a hurry, but if you have time to just let your grease, whatever, your sausage or your bacon, fat, whatever, and your flour cook a little longer and let it get darker, especially gets darker really well when you're using a cast iron. But tonight I didn't pull my cast iron out. I already have this one from my bacon that I fried up. So you can watch it here turn darker. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I really do like it that way. Like I said, I just don't often do it that way. But it's getting darker, and I'm just kind of deliberately letting it sit there and cook a little bit before I add in my cream. Now, this is evaporated milk. I grew up calling it cream, but I always keep evaporated milk on hand. I love it for gravy especially, and I love it for mashed potatoes. So here I am stirring in a whole can, and then I went back in and added in just a little bit of water to thin it out just a little bit because it got pretty thick. And I just made some gravy out of our bacon grease and served alongside. I also had some leftover hash brown casserole. I showed that in last week's video. I'll link that one below. And we had some bacon, eggs, and some tomatoes. This meal was so delicious, and breakfast hits the spot every time. All right, for tonight's dinner, I have fried up 4 grillers or sausages. This is a brand from Aldi. I can't remember the exact brand name, but they're the jalapeno cheddar. They're so good. So I just cut these up into little medallions here. They are fried up. You can tell they've gotten a good amount of color on them. And let me show you what I'm going to do next. I have a jar of this German style sauerkraut. This is also from Aldi. This is their German brand. And so I'm going to drain out the liquid on this because I don't like a super sour sauerkraut. So I'm going to drain out the liquid, maybe even rinse it just a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm going to get that on top of the sausages. So kind of like kraut and weenies or kraut and sausages type of situation. I'm just using the jalapeno cheddar sausages this time for mine. So I'm going to get this drained and into the skillet to start cooking with those sausages. Okay, so I squeezed a lot of the juice. This is probably going to be loud. Okay, now you can hear me again. I squeezed a lot of the juice out of the sauerkraut, and then I just ran some water in with it. And that basically, like I said, it helps to kind of reduce the extreme sour taste. And I like a little bit of water so I can cook it, because I'm not going to cook it real quick. I'm going to kind of let it do kind of a low simmer, low to medium simmer. And it will absorb some of the flavors here with the sausage. I also left the grease that came off of the sausages as they were frying, left that in there. That will also be some really good flavor. So the ingredient that I do with sauerkraut that is weird, I'm sure, to some people, I sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar. I don't do a lot. My husband doesn't. He likes it more sour. I kind of like it a little less sour, so I try to go somewhere in the middle. But I like a little bit of brown sugar on there. And I've said this before 100 times. My mom was my teacher on cooking. And so that's how I grew up eating it. And I love it that way. And James really likes it that way too. So just a little bit, maybe about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. It just really enhances the flavor and makes a delicious sauerkraut. Okay, here's how it's coming along. It's just been sitting here simmering on the lowest. I don't even know if that's simmer. It's just been sitting here, staying warm on the lowest flame that I have. It's looking so good. Let me show you what else I've got going. All right, and right here we've got some potatoes boiling away for mashed potatoes. And then back here in this back kettle, we are just cooking up elbow macaroni for some homemade macaroni and cheese. All right, everything is done and we are about to plate up. This meal tasted so good to me for whatever reason. It just, I don't know, I'm just really loving sausages in various forms right now. And this one was absolutely delicious. Have to have a little slice of onion along with it, of course, some black pepper on top. And this was just a delicious comfort meal. All right, moving on to another night's dinner. We decided to have a snacky type dinner tonight because I wanted to use some fresh spinach and make a spinach artichoke dip. So I'm starting off here with an 8-ounce block of cream cheese softened, and I'm adding in a good amount of garlic powder. This particular recipe calls for a mixture of mayonnaise and sour cream to be added in. I will have the recipe that I followed linked below. I think it's a blog called Spending with Pennies, I believe. So look below. I'll have that one linked. I don't have a set recipe that I follow for a spinach artichoke dip. I guess when I'm in the mood to make one, most often I just grab a cookbook or look something up online. I don't make it super often, but I should make it more. We really like it. Next, I'm going in with some shredded Parmesan cheese. And then the recipe actually called for mozzarella, but I didn't, and also Gruyere, I think, but I didn't have those. So I just used this cheese that I had, which is a blend of, I think it was probably a Colby Jack or a cheddar Jack. I have a bit more of the artichokes than what the recipe called for, which is not a big deal. I just went ahead and added those all in. And so I'm just using my scissors here to cut this up while it's in the jar to get this pieces a little bit smaller. And then one thing I forgot to do was drain them. It didn't have a ton of liquid on it, but the recipe did call for it to be drained, but it did not make one difference whatsoever. It was not runny. It was just fine. So I guess you could go ahead and put the juice in if you wanted to, or the oil rather, that they're marinated in. So I'm sure that added a lot of good yummy extra flavor as well. So I'm just going to get this all stirred together here. And then, like I said, I had some spinach in my refrigerator that I was down to the bottom of the bag here and wanted to use that up. So I thought this would be perfect. It's a little bit past its prime, but not much. I want to show you here how good it still looks. And this had been in my refrigerator for a while. I always open the bag when I bring it home, stick a paper towel down inside of there, so if there's any moisture, the paper towel absorbs that. And then I just kind of loosely fold it over and put a clip on the top, and that actually, I think, really lengthens the life of the spinach. It has needs to be able to breathe a little bit, and I think that helps it to stay fresher longer. So I just tore those up into bite-sized pieces, or pieces that were, not as big, and I'm going to get this all incorporated here and get this ready to go in the oven. And for the next part of our little snacky dinner, we're having these everything Franks in a blanket. I picked these up from Aldi, and thought I was going to go by the air fryer instructions, but I decided since the oven was going with the spinach artichoke dip, I just should bake these in the oven. So that's what I did. Here's what they look like, the packaging on the inside. Here it is coming out of the oven. This spinach artichoke dip didn't have to bake very long at all. Cheesy and delicious. And here are the little Franks in a blanket. They've got the everything bagel seasoning on them. This was a quick dinner. We love snacky type dinners. And this was delicious. And of course we were able to eat on this dip for the next couple of days and just served it along with some tortilla chips on the side. Look at that cheesy goodness on there. Like the Franks in the blanket as well. I would definitely buy those again. This was all in all just a yummy, fun dinner. Also quick. All right, and we have made it to the last dinner of the week. This is another one of those easy, quick dinners. I can't even tell you how long I have wanted to make these, and I just either don't have one thing or the other. I don't know. I am making a yummy burger. Let me just start off by saying I've just got my burger patties in the pan. I put some garlic, salt, and pepper on there and a little bit of extra black pepper. And I'm just going to fry these up per usual. There's nothing quite like a pan-fried burger. I love a grilled burger. I love burgers of all sorts of ways, but a pan-fried burger is so, so good. So after I get these turned over here, I am going to put on some minced onion. And that might give you a little clue of where we're going with this. So I could have hydrated these in some water, but I didn't choose to go that route. I'm putting a real good amount of the minced onion on there on the side that I just flipped over. So it's going to kind of start softening as these burgers are cooking in the pan. Okay, these are just about done here. Don't they look delicious? You can hear my air fryer in the background. This is the side that I'm making. I didn't have any French fries tonight, so I just did some little tater rounds and tater tots, and those are almost done in the air fryer. Now I'm going back to my burgers, and I am putting on some American cheese, 1 slice per patty. Got any guesses on what we're having? We are not having a copycat necessarily because we're not doing enough things just like the original to make it a copycat, but it's certainly a burger inspired by a Big Mac. So we are having our version of Big Mac burgers tonight. So after I have my cheese on all of the slices, I'm just going to go back with my lid and turn the heat on low so that this cheese can start melting. I'm calling these Big Mac burgers because they're not exactly like a Big Mac, but pretty close. And you have to have a seeded bun, and you have to have secret sauce. This is the Great Value secret sauce. I've got my lettuce shredded up. It's not iceberg, it's romaine. And you guys, I forgot to put on pickles. Oh my goodness, I did not even realize that until I'm editing this. And I'm like, I have the little tiny restaurant thin sliced pickles in my refrigerator, forgot to put them on. That means we'll have to do these again and see if we can get it a little closer to being like a Big Mac. So our meat, our cheese, our secret sauce, our shredded lettuce, our seeded bun. You guys, this was so stinking good, even without the pickles. So good. James actually had a second burger. He loved it so much. He's like, I'm going back for another one. These little tater tots were a good side. This was so good. So give this one a try if you haven't yet. And thank you so much for staying tuned throughout this whole video. Hopefully you made it to the end. Hope you got some good dinner inspiration. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you around here, and I'll see you the next time.